Hello everyone, Stephanie Morin here. You might have noticed that it's actually a bit early for me to be recording my bedtime story videos. Well, that's because I have to go to work tonight, so I will hopefully be recording this as early as I possibly can, and I will try to publish it around 7, 8 o'clock, whenever I usually do the bedtime stories. Today, we're going to be looking at Skippyjon Jones in Mummy Trouble. Now this book is going to have some very strong ancient Egyptian themes, as well as Los Chimichangos and Skippyjon Jones, exploring ancient Egypt. If you guys are interested, I have a treasury of Egyptian mythology that I can read to you guys. It's very well drawn, it's very well written. I may have trouble pronouncing some of the gods' names, but if you guys are interested, please let me know and I will consider that. In the meantime, let's start with Skippyjon Jones in Mummy Trouble. Skippyjon Jones did his very best thinking outside the box. What do you think he's digging? Kind of looks like a pyramid, doesn't it? What do you think Skippyjon Jones is up to this time? Hopefully some more mischief. And this twisted his mama's whiskers tighter than a Texas tornado. "Hey, you, Mr. McPoo," said Mama Junebug Jones. "Just what do you think you're doing?" McPoo didn't say boo. He was too busy reading. "Hey, little digger, I'm talking to you," said Mama, scooping up her boy. "A pyramid outside a litter box will never, ever do." Then she saw his magazine. Look at Skippy, sitting on top of this big pyramid. Oh, look at all the toilet paper. And that's Mama. She's not picking him up by the scruff of his neck this time. She's picking him up like any mom would do to a disobedient child. Can you see the title of the magazine? Can't really tell, huh? National Geographic, mused Mama. "And the curse of the cat, Mummy. Why, this will give you nightmares, boy, with an upset tummy, too, plus a puffy tail on the grandest scale. This story is taboo." But Skippyjon Jones was in no mood to listen to his Mama, so he skedaddled to his room. So, Skippyjon Jones is having a little ancient Egypt and mummy phase, huh? I wonder if you had any ancient civilization phase of your very own, or will have some in the near future. History is a very fascinating subject, one that should be studied more closely these days. Look at his little sisters. Aww, they're making a big mess. I would be so mad at the little kids. They're making a mess. For a really good bounce on his big boy bed. He bounced once. He bounced twice. And the third time he bounced, he said, "Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, and I do love my mummy. But if I don't bounce, I get knots in my tummy." Then the kitty boy flipped over to the mirror for a look-see. Skippyjon's having a good time, doing his bouncing. exclaimed Skippyjon Jones. "I know you," he said to the doggy in the mirror. "Your ears are too big for your head. Your head is too big for your body. You are not a Siamese cat." Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he added, "You are still the big Chihuahua dude, the whole enchilada." And they just might like enchiladas in Egypt, thought Skippy. So the kitty boy donned his mask and cape and began to sing in a muy soft voice. "My name is Skippito Frisquito, and I'm off to see old Egyptito. My chicos insist, and I dare not resist the chance to go meet a mamito." So Skippyjon is still singing Chihuahuas in the mirror. That's because of his big ears. Do you think he's a Chihuahua? Skippy certainly thinks so. And our little kitty boy is going off again. He's once again using his mask as pants. Oh, well, at least he's being creative with it. In the meantime, his little sisters, Jezebel, Jillyboo, and Jujubee, rolled into his room with a plan of their own. But the kitty boy was already deep inside his closet on his way to ancient Egypt. Ooh, so his little sisters are having a little plan. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to teach their brother a lesson? Hope they get there soon. Because there he is, inside his little closet. Now these plants here, these are papyrus reeds. They kind of look like cattails, but they're supposed to be papyrus reeds. See that bird there? That's a heron. Herons are very much adapted to lake life. You can often see them hanging around in lakes, catching fish or small animals. What they do is, they'll sit at the water's edge, looking downwards, with their beak poised for any small animal to come by, and then they dive underwater and scoop it up. And paddling down the River Nile, who should sail right past but a kooky crocodile? Hungered down on his lumpy bumpy back were all his old amigos, the Chimichangos pack. "¿A dónde vas?" called out Skippito. "We're going to the under mundo," answered the Chihuahuas. "Not to the underwear!" exclaimed Skippito. "No, no, no," said the Puchitos, "you silly little beast. To the underworld, where mamitos rest in peace." "Peas?" exclaimed Skippito. "Who wants to sleep in peace?" "We do," said the doggies. "We hear they are to die for." See that big crocodile? Those are all of Los Chimichangos. Those are palm trees right there. Can you see them? I don't think palm trees exist in Egypt, so this is definitely like his imagination, right? "You mean they are better than the frijoles?" asked Skippito. "Sí, mucho mejor, señor," said Poquito. "Vámonos," said Skippito. "What are we waiting for?" But then Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones, spoke up. "Hold your ponies, Pepito. To get to the undermundo, we first have to answer the riddle of the Sphinx." "But I'm not good at riddles," said Skippito. "No problema," spoke Tito. "You have a muy big brain." Then they set forth from the Rio Nile to find the Sphinx. The muchachos began to sing. "Skippy, skipoo, Skippito. We only have one chancharito to pass by the Sphinx, so don't be a jinx. Just answer the riddle tantito." Aww. Looks like Skippito is having second thoughts. What's about this adventure? How do you think Skippito is feeling? I'd be pretty nervous too, going up to the Sphinx. The muchachos arrived at 4 o'clock sharp, but the Sphinx had been waiting forever. "Don't let the gato get your tongue, dude," said Don Diego. "What cat? Where?" asked Skippito. "That cat, there," said the perritos, pointing to the Sphinx. And before he could say anything, the great Sphinx spoke.
"Whose ears are too big for his head, and who loves to go bounce on his bed? Who creeps on all fours through his own closet door, straight into the land of the dead?"
That's the Sphinx. Do you guys know the answer to this riddle? I bet it's Skippito. That sounds a lot like him. Skippito knew the answer to this riddle, but he was so nervous he coughed up a little furball. "You got that an answer, dude?" said Don Diego.
"The answer,"
bellowed the Sphinx. So with his permission, the perritos were free to pass on to the tomb of King Rootin' Tootin' Kitten Kabootin'. When they finally reached the pyramid, the doggies burst into song and dance. "Oh, see, Osiris, our boy had a touch of the virus. He coughed up a ball, so the Sphinx made a call, and now it's inscribed on papyrus." But when Skippito saw how dark it looked in the pyramid, he began to feel queasy. "My tummy hurts," he groaned, "and my tail is getting puffy too." That's Skippito and the little hairball. Now cats normally don't cough up hairballs because they're nervous. Cats like to groom themselves a lot, so all that hair gets trapped in their stomach and then they have to cough it up. Luckily it can be treated with medications and special foods and stuff, but just be careful, okay? Ooh, now Skippito looks really scared. See the puffed up tail? Cats puff up their tails usually when they're scared or angry. So, Skippito is very scared, right? It's very dark in there. But his chicos would not comfort him. They just wanted their peas, por favor. "Are you not a Skippito Fresquito, the great sword fighter?" asked Poquito Tito. "Sí," declared Skippito. "That is me." Then do your duty, dog," commanded Don Diego. So Skippito drew in a breath and dove into the darkness of the musty old tomb, chanting, "Peace, por favor, peace, por favor, peace, por favor." That's the tomb right there. See the hieroglyphics? Hieroglyphics is basically the ancient Egyptian style of writing. A character or a series of characters can combine to make a sound, or maybe just one character can represent just one sound. This is a hawk, or this is a kite, which is the sacred animal of Horus and Nephthys. This is a jackal, which is the sacred animal of Anubis. And this is a baboon, the sacred animal of Thoth, the god of wisdom and science. Think Skippito's going to make it? Let's find out. He rocketed through the vault like a fur-covered comet until suddenly, smackito, Skippito hit a wall and knocked himself out cold. Soon after, 3 goddesses emerged from the shadows to prepare the kitty boy for his journey into the undermundo. "First we salt and pepper him," said Ba, the first goddess. "And sprinkle him with lucky charms," said Da, the second one. "Then we wrap him and roll him and bundle him tight," said Bing, the third goddess, "and blow him a kiss and say, nighty-night." Ooh. Looks like Skippito's in trouble. Who do you think these three gods are? Do you think they want to help Skippito? Then the trio rolled the wrapped cat down the ramp into the king's burial chamber. Across the room stood the 4,000-year-old sarcophagus of King Rootin' Tootin' Kitten Just as they were about to deliver El Skippito Mamito, he rolled right into the feet of the oldie-moldy mummy.
Bedtime,
moaned the king as he stretched out his paws.
I need to rest in peace.
Peas! Screamed El Skippito Mamito, waking up in a flash. And quicker than you can say, mummies, mumps, and measles, he grabbed 2 paws full of peas and hightailed it home. So, that's the 3 goddesses. Rolled them up there. That's the king. Can you see his 2 paws? That's Skippito, right there. When Los Chimichangos saw El Skippito Mamito come rolling out of the pyramid, they went into a real tailspin. Then all the doggies began to chant. Green Chicharo's hot, green Chicharo's cold, the best Chicharos in the world are the Skippito holds. But El Skippito Mamito was too scared to slow down, so he chucked the peas at his chicos and kept right on running. I don't think the Los Chimichangos care about Skippito's safety. Poor Skippito. Where do you think he's going? Straight into the arms of his mummy. "Oh, what's the matter, Fuzzy Bug?" asked Mama Junebug Jones. Skippyjon Jones looked back over his shoulder to see if the 3 spirits were still chasing him. "Bada bing!" he wailed, dropping the last of the peas. Then 3 giggling goddesses raced into the room after Skippito with their puppets and a roll of toilet paper. "We're going to wrap you and roll you and bundle you tight," they sang, "and check you for cooties and kiss you good night." Ah, so it was actually his 3 little sisters the whole time. You think they taught their brother a lesson? These little sisters of his are just as creative as Skippyjon. They're honestly really cute. That night, Skippyjon Jones was bouncing on his big boy bed. "No mummies in my closet, no mummies in my bed. No mummies in my bookcase, no mummies in my head." Just before he closed his eyes, the kitty boy checked his room one more time for mummies. The only one he saw was his own. "I love you, Mummy," said Skippyjon Jones. "I love you too, Bunny Boots," said Mama Junebug. "Now, go to sleep, por favor." And that's him with his little white blanket. And that's the end of the book. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to my story. If you would like, hit the like and subscribe button to get more updates on scheduling as well as more stories and ways for me to read to you and your children. Until then, see you next week.